Long ago but not far off. Too soon, too late. The strong will know that they are boss. What move could you make? One act more exact than the tracks across a frozen lake. One mind who ignores time, yet enshrines a chosen fate. Changes of such magnitude far beyond our comprehension. For a bigger impression than the latest invention, check the hammer and the pendulum. Handle the evidence as imagination stretches to the end of this section of human endeavor. As the pressure's put to menace with the premises. 10,000 years to measure conventional excrement. Excavated edifice on two separate views to demonstrate evolution or spontaneous mutation. What proof could you make? The earth wobbles on its axis. Antarctica is lopsided. Below the planet's crust exists a soft layer too hot to hold the rocks grinding in its medium. Heating the forces seeking to regain the equilibrium. Uneven weight distribution takes a further toll in tension. Did you think the result would be a slow and easy readjustment? The natural laws give cause to point to spontaneous combustion, destruction, catastrophe. Prophecy can't be taken seriously. Ocean floors, standing trees, strange changes in animal species. Seashells found on mountaintops, saltwater creatures, freshwater lakes, scattered remains of animals from mammoths to saber-toothed tigers, snakes, not accustomed to cold climate, yet frozen in their place. How much truth can you take? Long ago but not far off. Too soon, too late. The strong will know that they are boss. What move could you make? One act more exact than the tracks across a frozen lake. One mind who ignores time, yet enshrines a chosen fate.
Altitude 12,000 feet. Temperature 40 below. 30,000 miles of rock. Below 9,000 feet, the snow melts. 6,000 feet, rapids and swift-moving waters. These land formations have taken 100,000 years to develop.
The rage is gone, the rain was long, the name lives on like Genghis Khan, or maybe King Kong. I gave the bomb to strangers on the way to take the future to the Iceman. Nomads, cause they know not where they're going. Is no man's destiny worth living out or dying frozen? I'm eyeing society's chosen, knowing that variety's open, only in popular colors and sizes. Now anxiety's smoking, my stress tokens like I was an arcade. Please insert coin or live in the dark age. Get out the parkade and get into the traffic. Inhale exhaust like an addict, sickness is systematic. I'm itching and the DJ scratching, it's sporadic. I'm packing the adequate punches like little kids' lunches, equipped with a 5 Alive juice box and $2 for a snack. So let's crack into the Druid's cafeteria, making fresh goodies that won't mess up your interior. A carrier of knowledge, but don't try to act superior. Life is not a mirror of what exists on the exterior. So periodically I check myself honestly, polishing the grins, then giving back the shark's fins. Big fish sink where little fish think together will swim forever. Immortal guppies watching imported yuppies act like budgies, mimicking how to run the country or how to win the country. It's getting funny.
So
time goes by and sometimes I have to laugh. The way history repeats is a foreshadowed past. Sometimes I laugh, but sometimes I get mad, cause history repeats and it's the same damn plan. Time goes by and sometimes I have to laugh. The way history repeats is a foreshadowed past. Sometimes I laugh and sometimes I get mad, cause history repeats and it's the same damn plan.
You don't dig them because you way back and hit a time and you ain't gonna change. And that's what's the matter with the country now, especially America. You got to change with the time. It's an atomic age, you got to have an atomic mind.
You can't adopt this catastrophic anti-pop shit. Digging the underground pulse like earthworms digging through granite rock. Quick, whoa man the cockpit picked specifically for enemy objects. Entering this vicinity, getting the penalty for everything from editing the true art, then leaving some new beats that shoe fart, slowly pulling the chemistry apart that ignites into deadening light before anything can start. So I'm ascending to heights, extending my hand with my heart. Evidently, this world is getting smaller every century. Many see the weak get crushed under the feet. It's bleak energy, misdirected with misconduct, infected onslaught, cancerous cells that dwell in that chicken that your mom bought. Autobots attack this lone cyclist, not bionic. Typhoid trying to avoid smoke and exhaust like antibiotic. With strange remedies blend the seed to be psychotically churning unconsciously property of her majesty for his travesty and demonic plea. So have a seat and watch the torture, cause it's gonna be a scorcher. Quarter to noon, standing outside the saloon with your shadow, when you choose ways to bring your doomsday before the battle. Born to travel, sing seduction to the eve of destruction. See destruction devour people like fat to liposuction, but my combustion is outdated. I'm all about breaking barriers, tearing nerves like flesh to pit bull terriers. If the world looks scarier, it's because we think it's supposed to. No one told you didn't have to accept the reality, someone chose to hold you. It's time we broke through. Goes by and sometimes I have to laugh. The way history repeats is a foreshadowed cast. Sometimes I laugh, but sometimes I get mad, cause history repeats and it's the same damn plan. Time goes by and sometimes I have to laugh. The way history repeats is a foreshadowed cast. Sometimes I laugh, but sometimes I get mad, cause history repeats and it's the same damn plan. If you got 'em, tell me how far you get before you view who's calling the shots. Just ask Scott, who rode his bike up the sidewalk. Got stopped by bike cops right at the stopwalk. Said he ought to put thought to rules and conduct of bicycles. That clearly states the illegalities in his traveling. He tried to talk to the officer, grappling with words to fill the gap in understanding. He tried to relate about how crazy traffic was in the area, and how he made attempts to abide with the law, but nearly met his fate in a hit and run, and way too many close encounters. But that didn't make these two state workers see straight and observe the real state of affairs, where the freedom to carry on as you must is restricted by layers of structures and mechanisms, barriers and set decisions unequally thought of. Got me caught up in my pessimism sometimes. I feel like the world is so unkind, with one trying to get ahead while another is punching eyes, keeping me blind but acting like they're on my side. Time and time again I end up feeling like no one's my friend. Now Scott gets in battles with drivers Coming close to life and death situations, it's amazing he survives. Everyone blames the other instead of trying to change the laws. And the road to recover, it's no wonder we're at a loss. We got rights, we'll use them if you got them. Tell me how far you get before you view who's calling the shots.
You got a problem, go tell customer service, because to serve and protect, you need to keep the public nervous. Fear is a greater weapon than physical force. It's more efficient, keep them guessing and never threaten directly. The constable constantly down to be corrupted monetarily, because a man can barely even survive on the salary ratified by the most recent session of our city council. Accounts will stay protected if the payment is collected cash only, and you won't get a receipt. So select your words with caution, cause my patience is at an all-time minimum, threatening life and limb. A grim way to exist this side of hysteria. Bury the poor soul who thought freedom was the theme of America. Actually it's every man for himself. Great wealth and a house in the Beverly Hills, and to that end I spill blood and sever the head of an enemy, then flee the crime scene, cleverly alter the evidence and never be suspected of such treachery. Keep it moving, these streets are my machine, and I keep them well run, and it don't stop till I turn in my badge and gun. There's another behind me, all ready to inherit. Tell me what your life's worth if you're asking me to spare it.
We got rights, we'll use them if you got them. Tell me how far you get before you view who's calling the shots.
And cronies. Men who remember the good old days when life was closer to nature.
Top tree.
It was not unlike the numbness of the sunset, resting its rays on my face, engulfing this heavy gaze. As a future of many days look back into my eyes, staring into the forest like I was Lord of the Flies. But I ain't mortified, I'm overjoyed as I override thoughts of the city and the stress that gets me fried. Just let my mind's eye relax and open up as I make tracks. Down the trail I sail, I'm surrounded by nature. The air is cool and fresh, the smell of cedar reforms my labor as I savor the soft sounds. In my solitude there's no substitute, and I'm humble too as the thick tread of my boot nearly crushes a cluster of red mushrooms. Now the underbrush hushes at my clumsiness, and I suddenly wish to stand still, view life from a new frequency, and let nothing go unseen. Let my thoughts root deep into the soil for nourishment, so I halt and let my patience exalt without discouragement.
Just the top trees.
Within minutes, Grey Jay and Chickadee make my heyday, foraging on the ground a few feet from where I'm found. Then my soul became inflated when greeted by the pleated, tapping a tree trunk for grub. Now this was what I needed. Yes, now I felt the oneness with the sunset and with all, viewing life with a new sight, becoming immersed in its call. Awed by the intricacy, intrigued by the simplicity, and inside I felt that nothing was missing to me. We were in balance, no longer individuals who challenge each experience with resistance. If it were music, it was like grooving to inner visions without moving. Sounds difficult, but you could get used to it. But the truth is, it's hard to explain to you or anyone just how I felt that day. As I merged with my excursion that morning in the White Shell, it might well have been similar to some religious experience, like kneeling in your temple, speaking to your God and learning its lessons. Well, let here be my temple, and let the one spirit, the breath of many, the one voice, a variety of sounds, one life with its ups and downs, a variety of relationships interconnected, a symbiotic neighborhood respected.
Top tree.
And cronies. Men who remember the good old days when life was closer to nature.
Owl wakes up and hoots at the moon.
It would be difficult for me to describe to you in one paragraph why when I crack a joke most folks don't share the laugh, and so silence bears its wrath. Then to the overcast skies my spirit spreads its wings and flies. The pins of eyes poke me, rope and choke me, but I just walk away cloaking like everything was okie dokie. Pretend you're not heard, extend you small bird with big wingspan as I sink slow like quicksand. It's not just a matter of sticking up for myself, picking up myself is easy, unlike receiving the beating as I disrupt my health mentally and spiritually. Journey into my mind and see the constant battle continuing from matter over mind to mind over matter. So some days I look good and some days I I feel scattered, but inside I see the truth. On the few days my mind is clear and my body hasn't been abused. Being human is complex. Sometimes we pursue fantastic fiction dictated by the sublime you. And me, I like a view. So some days you might catch me in my roost, about 60 feet up in a huge cottonwood. And if I'm off to a good start, I'll be hunting like an assassin piercing through the night's heart. I like the dark, but I also like life. So the light from within burns on through the cold nights. Then I hold tight, and when in my sight I spot goals, tense talons twist into the sinews of my soul's progress. It's just my progress. It's just my progress. Day-to-day struggles. It's how I continue. It's quite odd to me, cause sometimes I feel helpless. The fierce-strong raptor, a predator's been captured. Can't answer a single question when I get this way. I'm just a breath away from clarity. It's like a charity drive that won't accept no pay. Just let myself be buried alive when I don't get to say I'm very deprived, but deprived by my own habitual lack of focus. And so my thoughts are formless and my form is hopeless. But I know it's not so bad. I'm lucky to have this bath where I could soak these ruffled feathers, knowing damn better than to sit around moping. Like what's the weather got to do with my negative view? Just coping, but it's evident too that I've roped in a few of my bad habits, which once compared to grizzly bears now are smaller than bunny rabbits. But seriously, this antisocial, oddly vocal, intellectual hopeful is not piercing opal stones with rodent bones getting stuck in my throat. The only way to open my dome is through spoken poems. So excuse me as frayed feathers float these vocal tones. Look up, it's just the owl. It's just the owl.
The owl wakes up. Owl
How you deal with the owl?
hoots at the moon.
Swooping in, it's the owl.
The owl wakes up. Hoots at the moon. Owl wakes up. Hoots at the moon.
To the sound of rushing water, brushing off the remains of sleep like dry leaves in the blush of autumn. Almost forgot the dream from where I was so recently engaged, as members of my household ritualistically began their days. So once assured I could rest on my day off, an inner smile guided me back to that necessary nod off. And once again I became a bottlenose at play, riding amid the waves in a graceful oceanic display on an emotional plane more colorful than crayons, emitting sounds of joy as well as sounds of navigation, using echolocation similar to that of winged mammalian. Searching for some food I ran into a sea reptilian who said she had mind power taught to her by the Anunnaki, to speak to my grandfather with technique like a walkie-talkie. Of what she was talking I knew nothing about, of course, but as she spoke I felt vibrations indicating a greater source than I ever experienced. Curious, I urged her to continue learning of this water world I thought I knew, and matters of my destiny, presenting these thoughts anew. The last thing she said was, do not fear death, as it would only take me through. Do not fear death? What? Then suddenly, as if on cue, a dark cloud was moving near me, and the ancient one's eyes grew wide, and I knew that I must hurry, moving quickly. I hardly had enough time to gasp. As I glanced back, the sight of a fading turtle was my last. Swallowed by the cloud, though I could still feel her presence. Trying to figure out what it all meant seemed so senseless, but endless the ocean was not, so I knew this thing I'd see again. Do not fear death, she said. Inside my soul, those words would never end. They'll never end. Then I awoke to the sound of careless chatter. As the clock radio beside my bed took a dagger to my subconscious, tearing dreams to shreds. I shook my head trying to remember what adventures I partook and why I felt like something entered my heart and soul, like I had shared my deepest secrets. But I just couldn't recall where I'd gone or what I'd seen. Then reaching for the radio switch, my heart skipped a beat when the words ocean tanker pulled my ear into its speech. On a coral reef, it seems a tanker ship got caught while cruising. Damage just hauling from it poured a chemical solution, a deadly pollution not intended for consumption, but into the living water poured this dark cloud of obstruction. How strange it felt for me to be so deeply affected, even though a love for earth I had already accepted. I couldn't help but feel a pain more sharply directed, marking some unexpected connection. The word selected were do not fear death. It was an entrance to my memory. Do not fear death. It was an exit for an entity. Do not fear death. The words made sense and yet they didn't. Do not fear death, she said.
If she could have spoken her thoughts, it would have been to say that this was not what they aimed at when they had set themselves years ago to work for the overthrow of the human race.
Excuse me while I make believe, but real life ain't cutting it. Cause after all the time it's taken me to die, I still ain't done yet. You'd look at me in horror if I'd set foot on your streets, but you look at me with joy when there are chains around my feet, or space between the cages, resting your weight against the railing. You could never look at me without that face that makes you alien. So here's to our engagement I knew we had long ago, when you were huddled by the fire, trying to keep away the cold, trying to use me for protection, choosing my hair and skin. Strange how without me you'd have no race to win. But here's to the winner, as the race picks up its toes, and we clap for the late beginner who learned how to run the show. But excuse me if I don't shake hands or bow to show respect, as my anatomical design doesn't allow me to interject. But it's fine to be ignored, and it's all fine to do your thing, but I don't feel fine about the lifeline from which I'm hanging like a string, dangling, angling my head. I tried to catch what I had missed, listening for the call of the wild to crush denial in its fist and bring finish to the race. Isn't it a trip the way I pace the border? But excuse me, I'm losing my mind over here in the corner. It's sort of amusing, isn't it? How you could never come to me. But in what forest will I feed when you've clear-cut all the trees? When the zookeeper becomes my teacher, will you already be forgetting that the way you treat yourself is on the rest of us reflecting? So think about that, human, before before you return with all your theories on how we've come about and how things should turn out in the future. With your superior intellect, we know you won't become a loser in the race. So excuse me as I stop to take a rest and make believe for just one moment that I still have something left, that I still have something left, that I still have something left, something left. This song is dedicated to all the creatures of the world.
While a privileged few own large areas of fertile land, the rest must survive on farms that are divided into ever smaller pieces with each new generation.
There's no need to be realistic when we can pretend. There's no need to feel restricted when we can expend all the energy from hydroelectric dams to the gasoline fuel to power our tools and provide the schools and workplaces, structures that serve basic need for humanity's continuing growth takes its hold on the first space that gave birth to the earth races. Take this factory emission, evaporate and listen as the raindrops drip into the rivers and streams driven to an age-old ecosystem. Over the hills into the valley, flows the sequel given by the people living on non-biodegradable food and packaging that acts as a sustainable micro-sized plastic molecules, and acid rain acts as quickly as rocket fuel to ignite or at least disable, taking lives of the smallest size like minnows or dragonflies. Poisoned or lame, they're easy game or easy prey to be dined on by the next size up, be it bullfrog or duck, weasel or woodchuck. Each step up means a higher concentration in your grub, but whether it's high or low, plant or fish, the answer is always the same. The world is the environment, and who sits on the top of the food chain has everything to lose and nothing to gain. Hi ho ho, from smoke and smog to the bog down in the valley. Oh hi ho ho, from smoke and smog to the bog down in the valley. Oh hi ho ho, from grease to gas to the grass down in the valley. Oh hi ho ho, from grease to gas to the grass down in the valley. Ho ho ho.
Each day is a struggle for survival. While a wealthy minority live in elegant houses and the middle class in well-functioning apartments, the majority struggle to find shelter in slums or shantytowns. Each day is a struggle for survival.
As if I feel confident when I pour a glass of bread. Instead of dad beating me, it'll be the babysitter. Consider my last purchase was soaked in filthy water in a spin cycle of cold spells while the sun gets hotter and churns out a steamy robotic birth of production. Army of faceless workers awaiting their instruction. This lack of directly lived existence takes its toll and dismantles the out before it gets on a roll. Picks up steam and spreads its good word across the track. You've done well, deserve a treat. Pick up a snack that will attack and wage war on all our soft spots. Life's mystery spin on, there's no connecting these dots. Plants and pots suffer so that our air is clean. Green box program and all its uses are obscene. Recycling, it will not save the Milky Way or that foul little dot on the map where you stay. I know about this sloth, spends his whole life in a tree, never leaves the tree, and it eats the leaves for free. You think the tree would be upset by its lengthy gap, but when the sloth drops shit, that's when the tree digests. Think about that, y'all. It's a cycle of survival during nature shows. I know you cringe in the arrival of the snake, lion, or other predator. Easy to look away, the brain has a personal editor. Our national anthem should be a glorious freedom song about sustainability, respect, and staying strong. I don't belong, but in the same breath I do this while there's Pip, Pamper, and not a bunch of different views. Schizophrenia, buddy, and I'm not really ready. Still about as cool as a can of spaghetti. It's a 1 human plus 1 human makes 5 humans. Monkey can't do math, but 1 human is too many human, and any humans makes monkey mad. I say 1 human plus 1 human makes 5 humans. Monkey can't do math.
marginal people, threatening property and middle-class values. And governments regard uncontrolled settlements as a challenge to their authority.
Hit the road we go, operating human vehicles like a geo. Thoughts glimmer as we contemplate our inner mind. Never ridicule, spin a spool of ideas. No time we share is too minuscule. Mental tools we chase, but this ain't a race. Things are cool as we take in the fresh air. And I'm all for walking as we talk just for pleasure. Like minds that bear friendship, you can't measure. Treasure the minutes, cause life is full of disabilities. As we age, we facing new responsibilities. Carrying myself on many legs like a millipede. Illustrates the growth required to keep from killing or losing your mind. Cause times change as we came up in this world. You gotta keep up with the pace. If you can't make up your mind, you're gonna break up. It takes discipline to fit in this whole scheme with iron grip to keep from slipping away in your dreams. That's why taking these seemingly pointless walks are actually more meaningful than a lot of tasks already mapped out in our lives. We work to survive, but it takes each other to thrive. Step by step, heel to toe, real slow, I reveal the flow. Rock over stones with poems as wind blow through open windows to heal soul. Where strings are pulled, where melodies are windows. Step by step, heel to toe, real slow, I reveal the flow. Rock over stones with poems as wind blow through open windows to heal soul. Where strings are pulled, where melodies are windows.
Walking clean cut, strolling immature since birth. Met you at a b-ball camp, 2 MCs new on this earth. What was it worth? When we sported street apparel, a British night hat and that Jersey Devil Darrell. The love was fresh, shocked when you entered Alvastone. I heard the rumors, the stories leaving permanence of my bone. Adoption with the art in the greatness of a breath. You prairie kid so thirsty, proud because of stress. Formed a group like some Jesuit missionary troops. We knew we not disciplined, leather stomping, sturdy boots. Replaced the boots, gung-ho with introductions to the freaks and twisted spirits. Joined as Mala on the low creek. Steaming thoughts, banging beats to take this whole damn world. Smoked out sound kids, Fraser Delta soul, we formed a unit and conquered underground kilometers. From much music VJs to the cheapest stage monitors. How does this figure when we're walking criminals? A shorter span that will leave our lives fully minimal. So leave respect, back on mission with real job. Turn the table on the game now with $6 slobs. Coping with housing and iguanas behind the wall. Survival now, some will live and maybe some will fall with bitter breakups. But classic foreshadow closure. Some will move abroad, we're still here as we get older. Our walks are shorter cause my family takes my time. Your tiger claw politics fermented lethal rhymes. But soon we chill while deserving when we shine. We call you Glenn aka Gruf the Druid, friend of mine.
The path of my past, step by step, heel to toe, real slow, I reveal the flow. Rock over stones with poems as wind blow through open windows to heal soul. Where strings are pulled, where melodies are windows. Step by step, heel to toe, real slow, I reveal the flow. Rock over stones with poems as wind blow through open windows to heal soul. Where strings are pulled, where melodies are windows.
The light was coming at me, it was extremely bright. The inside of the car lit up, I can remember that. And it was a very dazzling, brilliant occurrence.
Ever watch the sky with your third eye opening? Probably not knowingly. Most of us are closed like manholes, holding these possibilities cooped up in our mental facilities, compartments. Occasionally when darkness sets and the sky clears with the stars exposed, I like to watch the universe unfold. If it's not too cold, I'll have my back to the grass so I can relax mind and soul and connect some lights to make a story, as so many have explored before me, making detailed accounts of their visions and beliefs. Now thousands of years have gone by, with the sight set far beyond the sunrise, like extensions of your mind reaching out, expanding millions of light years away, spilling through the Milky Way. But what would you say with these questions unanswered today? To something reaching out from out there to us, to something reaching realms of our atmosphere and trusting your senses. Trusting your senses. It was late one fall night, staring at the sky and at the satellites and anything else that grabbed my sight. I had to lie on the slope of the dike, facing northwest to get the best view without stress of city lights. When out of the distant dimness of the night came a sound so eerie it tingled my spine stiffly. It was a squeaky hum, kinda like a top spinning, growing louder and nearer. For a while I couldn't see a thing. Then what seemed to be out of nowhere was a shadowy object directly above me. A couple 100 feet at least, blood heaved in my veins, and I felt like gravity increased tenfold. My skin tightened like it was cold, feeling scared stiff as I stared in disbelief. And a part of me wanted to jet quickly, but a part was curious as to what this was up there steadily humming, moving slowly in a semicircle above me. My heart was pounding, it was kinda bat-shaped, though it sounded close, I couldn't see it well, but I could watch it move off in the other direction till it was invisible, and the sound was gone. I started to sit up, still looking at the sky, but then I saw 3 glowing triangles fly by. And I wasn't even smoking. I wasn't smoking.
Just what the heck that could be. Okay, we'll assume it's friendly anyway, okay? Roger, if it makes any noises, it's probably just wind in the rigging.
I have to say that I personally believe that UFOs really are here within our atmosphere all the time. But the reason we can't see them most of the time is because they're existing or moving at a frequency which we just can't pick up. Now the reason I think I saw what I saw that night 5 years ago was because of a lot of different things, a lot of different mechanisms in my mind or in my body or in my environment, and maybe having to do with the electric magnetic field or the positions of the planets, the moon, the sun, the stars, like at that moment in time in relation to the earth, triggering an ability in people to have this different perception, at least for a few moments, if not for permanent time, and having the ability to see these things moving around at a different level. I mean, we know enough now about the human mind or human brain to know that we don't know much. And as far as what some parts of the brain or the mind are used for or how they work. And you have many people who have seen sightings and seen or experienced similar things to what I've experienced. But you also have many others who have lived their entire lives and witnessed nothing of the kind.
UFOs do exist, but before we can begin to explain the few incidents that remain truly unidentified, we need to better understand the nature of the scientific process and the needs of the human mind.
The plants. The plants, they can read your mind. And then some. Ever try connecting a lie detector to a philodendron to think of strange thoughts, but not speak a word? The more familiar the herb, from any blocks you could be heard. No one can merge without the power to observe the unified field from which they see the words before they're heard. Ever see a herd of trees crawling beneath clay and soil, singing in symphonies that pre-writ the human toil? Uprooted they boil in agony, in tune to tragedy. Neighboring trees crying fear, how many ears pierce the apathy so exhibiting among us, dancing to beats that drumless. They tug us with a rope tied with psilocybic fungus, the tribe that brung us customs and cultures from life to death. Try taking a breath of oxygen without feeling the effects of the plants. They adopted the human seed and prompted many others, becoming mothers of earth, bursting with beauty undiscovered, pursuing tranquility, quiet virtuous wisdom through the humility. Gifts given have been of interest. Medicine of tradition has almost entirely been comprised of those botanical lives, fending off our own demise. Modern pharmaceuticals have become more suitably disguised from the plants that feed your eyes with taste buds to tantalize. The plants have tried and try again, they try to harmonize. Ask George Washington Carver who sang to his garden why. The voice of the tiniest living things as significant as the largest size. The plants they pardon our weakness, give us uniqueness, an opportunity to take part in life's completeness. I'm talking about the plants. That's right, I said the plants. I'm talking about the plants. That's right, I said the plants. You don't recall who sheltered you when you were just a child. You don't recall who fed you Homo sapien when you were wild. You don't recall who made the air so pure and clean. You don't recall but got the nerve to sit right in between. Who protected your weak, vulnerable body when you were naked, walking through the trees, appearing much less godly. You don't recall, you don't recall, you don't recall, you don't recall. Well, I do. It was the plants. I'm talking about the plants. That's right, I said the plants. The motherfucking plants. The plants. The plants. I'm talking about the plants. The plants. The plants. The plants. The plants. That's right, I said the plants. I'm talking about the plants. You know I said the plants. I'm talking about the plants. Said the motherfucking plants.
Until that moment, I had never realized what it means to destroy a healthy, conscious man. When I saw the prisoner step aside to avoid the puddle, I saw the mystery, the unspeakable wrongness of cutting a life short in full tide.
How did this happen to you? How could it happen to me? How could all my life lead to such disastrous scenes? Now I see the dreams of men descend daily within themselves. Victims dwell in this class system prevailing through every level in society. Reality is irony since freedom exists amid barriers quietly. But when it's spotted, predators swoop in like harriers violently, immobilizing the subject. Offender apprehended triumphantly, suspended from school, no longer a tool for privileges, which explains my present dwelling in this mess. Pitiless creature outcast must remove his mask and accept his death.
Are we good guys or bad guys? You know.
I am a human being with his heart strapped to the floor and his voice smashed against the ceiling. I am the reason we do what they say, the reason why my people can't smile on their payday. So-called cause as sure as water falls from the sky, we've got to keep getting paid if we're gonna make it by. But I've always lived check to check, and that's like tightrope walking with a tight rope around your neck. It's like not being able to get any respect unless you visually flaunt images that vividly impress. So just getting by is like a wicked lie, walking around like I'm nothing so the world passes me by. Can't look me in the eye cause I'm transparent unless I do something to better myself, better with wealth and a slice of unlawful behavior, and act scared of the consequence. You must fear failure. I do, oh God, I do fear going broke, but I can't handle the stress of progress without a toke and a drink. Must have been one too many. I couldn't have had none too plenty. But hunger sent me up another step in the ladder to gain entry to a few more pennies. I only kept the weapon to protect me. My sources said the house would be empty. Caught me messing in their drawers, looking for more. And as sweat filled my pores, she thought she'd settle the score with a small piece of lead and ore. As soon as she was sure, bore a hole through my clavicle, which rattled to my brain. My reaction was natural, self-defense without pretense. It was the event that caused a bitter end, to create walls so dense, an electric fence surrounding this recurring trend of a life spent life. Since this is where the spending begins, now my blood and sweat can erect rich men and women and children, literally making a killing. And since rehabilitation is non-existent and in fact prohibited in case individuals take on their own initiative to rise from the smut in society's guts, reborn in what's left of their innocence. But now I see clearly through brick and small, which have become small obstacles as I sit in awe, realizing my life has been a prison, and the real restrictions were everything from school to religion, cutting out my design with precision, teaching me what to see and who to listen. And on the inside I've met many of a similar path, and we speak of times past with interest. And though our bodies are trapped and experimented with, our actions recorded and our minds influenced, I still see the possibility of freedom in this. It could have been worse. I am a human being, with his heart strapped to the floor and his voice smashed against the ceiling. I am the reason we do what they say, the reason why my people can't smile on their payday.
Are we good guys or bad guys? You know. Rob. That's a naughty word. We never rob. Just sort of borrow a bit from those who can afford it.
She awakes behind eyes to see beneath cloak skies, tries to stretch her full size and lets go some low cries of knots and tight spots, joints unlocked from taut angling, padded paws, root no flaws, serves heavy breath through iron jaws. What perfection stalks deep, sits proud on living sheet of grass blade and green leaf, a wooded home and flattery of such perfection undetected in a shadowy coat. Yet the tragedy wrote a cat to be trapped in her own anatomy. With a piercing glance, he signals his team to advance, with rifles in their hands to stealthily execute their plans, making sure they get their chance. The trickery is employed, with the fresh smell of blood and a convincing decoy. So hunter becomes hunted, grunts become muffled, flesh is left to waste as head and hide, provide the hustle with a trophy, becoming organ donors supposedly, aiding in human health as theirs dwindles uncontrollably. Takes a look at the size, and through his awe he nearly cries. Stuffed fur and fake eyes to reenact and bring to life a creature of the night who once roamed the earth freely, seems to look back into the mind of this child seeking history in museums and galleries, zoos and circuses, books and libraries, television documentaries, from victims of the past to memories of the future, to visions of the vast majority living in a stupor. Tiger, tiger, burning bright in thy forest of thy night. What immortal hand or eye dare frame thy fearful symmetry? Tiger, tiger, burning bright in thy forest of thy night. What immortal hand or eye dare frame thy fearful symmetry? Tiger, tiger, burning bright in thy forest of thy night. What immortal hand or eye dare frame thy fearful symmetry? Tiger, tiger, burning bright in thy forest of thy night. What immortal hand or eye dare frame thy fearful symmetry? Tiger, tiger, burning bright. levitate. After eating bread we break, cause every time I rhyme I'm climbing higher in my mental state. But when I take the federate, standard plan to generate music through my mind, I tend to make myself an isolate introvert who wants to make music more creative when debating grounds of latest sound that fluctuate to subterranean style, so I don't suffocate. My crew don't wanna suffocate. I'd rather stay the underrated rapper, less distractions, making fools out of artistic jewels whose lips can't match their actions. So disconnect contraptions which affect your brain function. When Pip Skid stuns them, watch how many stay humble. When John Smith stumps them, watch how many take the tumble. So stumbling, the mainstream is just too pumped to gain a thing, injecting anabolics in bodies too big to run in. It's typical, just ass shaft in motion while it's crumbling on a sketchy foundation. So it's time for reproduction. It's tooth and nail, crutch and whip, busted lip, then pick an axe with rusted blade. From rake to fist, a brace of hits that crushes wit and makes you sick. You can't behave, so flush the shit. It's tooth and nail, crutch and whip, busted lip, then pick an axe with rusted blade. From rake to fist, a brace of hits that crushes wit and makes you sick. You can't behave, so flush the shit.
Now if I may be excused, I'd like to welcome back two old pals of mine.
We hit the street like, shall we? To spark a joint, share a story. Piss in the alley to mark our territory. Us homies carry out the ceremonial ritual for the phonies who come to town and snatch a fistful of bucks from the locals. Think Winnipeggers are ducks? In your town you suck. What did you think that you wouldn't hear? What the fuck you think that hip-hop wasn't good in here? Selling $20 dubs that people shouldn't hear? We couldn't cheer cause your set was tepid, cold and unreceptive, cause we love all those women you disrespected. Righteous rapper claims to live in a state of grace, trying to save face after a close scrape with a date rape case. And another from out west who played himself, trying to parlay Canadian fame into an easy lay. A sleazy play that only resulted in confusion. Offered her a whip but she wasn't feeling the slang that he was using. We got our own patois in which the fatwa will be issued. Misuse your visitors pass, I'm bound to diss you. It'll be Winnipeg handshakes all around for clowns that think that they're the only hip-hop in town.
So far from a sucker that I float on the surface, so relax, catching some sun still, making you nervous. Herpes 180 straight, rocking illegal blades, taking fireball slap shots with that aim at pawn braids. The music fades and the draperies are drawn. You get up to go for your car, but your keys are gone. Combing fingers through the lawn, but your wallet it's been patent. Trademark Pippi and tap shoes like rat and tattin'. Tick tick, tiggity, no diggity. White rappers with a dad and the Ku Klux surrounded in bigger. This is a confusing place to reside, so open wide. Blackmailing dentists to steal my wisdom teeth on a bribe. Subscribe to the source, are you out of your mind? Only if it comes anonymously covered with a broken spine. In style on the cover in suede shorts and black socks. In a huge story of Gil Scott giving up the crack rocks. I'll let you crash on my couch, feed you millet and hide your pipe. Read you stories at night and never smile like twin hype. I'm the type to put Gruf the Druid up in my top 3, right in between John Smith and Kumo D. We want what? The duck. Hey yo, I think it's our turn. While you think Canine Posse is a security firm, you get stormed. Left, right, left, and that shit is on the spring. Pip Skid is stupid fresh.
It's tooth and nail, crutch and whip, busted lip, then pick an axe with rusted blade. From rake to fist, a brace of hits that crushes wit and makes you sick. You can't behave, so flush the shit. It's tooth and nail, crutch and whip, busted lip, then pick an axe with rusted blade. From rake to fist, a brace of hits that crushes wit and makes you sick. You can't behave, so flush the shit. Be innocent enough? Each conflict I've encountered, just look inside our mind and see just who received the program. I'm bleeding slow, man, soaking up beams from a frozen screen. which blocks most free thought caught between. This man's good intentions are in different dimensions, see. So I stretch my context to sketch the smallest grain of my perspective. But no detective need dig too far, cause the doors are often left ajar. And as the cold wind of denial rushes in and brushes past my stale air of vanity, once clinging to my sanity, but now tragically exposing the scars of humanity. The stars are vanishing from those heavenly skies of perfection, leaving behind the rank smell of a stank hell of deception, jolting through memories like a hard steel weapon. That's what'll leave them trembling. Fuck those good intentions. Well, why then? Why in the midst of this final cry, as the voice of the dwindling remainder who knows this whole earth has become in danger? Don't you know that's the hand of man? Don't you know as our tools are fossil fuels and EMFs pressing on like labored oxen, the greater flocks will drop from toxins used in plastics, food production and cotton. And as the trees of life are dropping, we still can't stop shopping, matching crops with its genetical chemical. I think I can hear the harp play. It's incredible, the tune of damage to chew this planet like scraps to the dog outside. No wonder that's how the thunder claps on cue. Encore, encore, the crowd goes wild as some stupid fuck sends 40 pounds of plutonium on a cruise through the millennium, going to the highest scream of trillion life forms on the once green Gaia, who seem unamused or just too confused after being used and controlled by a chosen few. Chosen by who? Chosen by you? Chosen by you or me? No, no, hell no, it can't be. It can't be that same sea of faces which pass each day trying to find their places. Raised on TV while machinery traps us. Raised on the dollar bill that's soon to be cashless. And microwaves that surround and attract us. From cell phones to fast food. And then it's income taxes. And even more taxes for every breath of life who tries to survive on what they can capitalize. It can't be. Oh child. Or is it Rothschild or Rockefeller, wasted on Jason society, building leaders on masonry? Please tell us, who chose these cities so packed yet so distant? Who chose these laws that put so many of us in imprisonment? Who chose this education, teaching us how to be blind as we grow up in a world where we can hardly choose our own mind? So who chose this system? No one really fits in, shifting through layers of distraction from the get-go. On a mission, the human race picks up speed like it's techno, as the mighty selfish grip of technology won't let go, till this voice is silenced, and there will never, ever, ever be no echo.